Good afternoon and welcome to Titan Talk. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Today you got myself, Lieutenant Coop, and we got our wonderful Captain McFarland with us today. And we just wanted to say Happy New Year. Congratulations. And we're
It's 2023.
2023. This is day 2 of the new year. So congratulations on making it through another successful new year. We always know that that's a fun and entertaining night for everybody who's working. So we appreciate it. Thank you guys and welcome to the new year. So today we really kind of just wanted to have a chat with you guys and kind of go over some victories we had in 2022 and have kind of just to show where we started in 2022 to where we ended up.
Yeah, a little reflection.
Yeah.
So just kind of see our growth. One thing our boss always says is, "Hey, let's do what we did this year, and let's get better next year."
Let's make it
And yeah,
better.
let's at least do. Let's get better or do more than what we did the year before. So, whether that's get more officers, get more instructors, we always want to build, keep working, building and working towards the future. So we've got a clean slate for this year, and so far so good. So, like Lieutenant Coop said, everybody made it through the weekend safely. Um, and we're just kind of prepping to get the first quarter of 2023 up and running. And well, we've already technically been planning that, but just going to start executing and continue to do what you guys do best, which is show up and do your job and try to keep people safe. And we had some use of forces this weekend, but I think, like I said, we're working towards improvement on that. So other than that, the
See,
reflection part.
we started the new year, something to reflect on when we started 2022, we
We
were
want to get
taking
benefits,
benefits. We wanted to make better benefits,
daily pay.
401k, daily pay were some options that we were looking into.
Oh yeah, that's right, the 401k. I
Mhm.
forgot about that. So
And so going into 2023, we now have the new benefits package that started in January. It started the January 1st. For those of you who did sign up, congratulations. You've got actually a really good benefit package
yep.
for a privatized company to have one. It's actually pretty good for what we do.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
it's not gonna be like your government or union
right
benefits, but
now, don't get me, like I
pretty
said, don't get me wrong. My
pretty
dad
good
had
though.
union benefits for
Okay.
28 years, and I think those are some of the best unit benefits I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
But
that or
we're
military.
not
So
union.
yeah.
We're not federal. We're not law enforcement. We're a private company, and
Yep.
I like to think, through all the iterations of benefits that we've had here, that this is the best package that I've seen.
Yeah, I would say it is. I've seen previous. I mean, they were reputable, but this new package put together looks really good. So
We had a really good company a long time ago, but it was just the benefits that were the package they offered was not a good one.
yeah,
And it was, and over the years to see how it changes and what little subtle changes it can be to some of the massive ones that have been made. I mean, when I first started, we didn't have benefits, we didn't have any of that stuff, and when we finally did get it, it was at the height of when Obamacare came in,
yeah,
and it was everybody that I knew. Nobody wanted benefits. We
right.
were all abstained from going to the hospital. All the guys that I used to work with a long time back then, we didn't go unless we didn't have to, unless we absolutely had to.
Yeah,
There was no other option for us. And the first package came out, and I mean it was cheap. It was poor coverage. It was just something to keep you from getting because when that came out, you were taxed.
yeah,
And so it was something for that, and they had a really good end of it, like the really basic version, which is what I had, and they had a really, really good end of it,
yeah.
but it was just too expensive for anybody to really consider.
Yep. So no, I've heard nothing but good things about the benefits. I go with my wife, so um,
Beatty says that's why his wife married him was for the government benefits.
yeah, probably, probably.
Gary, thanks for joining us. Suzanne from 100 Kittens, hello. Thank you all for joining us.
Yep, we
Um,
want to come in and see you guys. So the office is closed. It's like a ghost town out there. And it's even more eerie because it's how
'Cause it's
the
got that
weather.
fog.
Yeah, it looks like Silent Hill out
Oh,
there.
man, it was great.
But we got our security guys here on site, and then obviously the guys that are always working 365, 24/7. So we've got a corporal downstairs hard at it, keeping his hand on the wheel, and we got guys in the field making things happen. I mean, I guess it's the holiday. It's the
It's
technical
the
week holiday.
the observant of
Yeah.
observance of the
Yeah.
holiday.
With Christmas and New Year's being on the weekends, we get a bonus day each day, I guess. So
I mean, I wouldn't really classify it as that. I mean, we're still working.
yeah.
I've been at home plugged in on my laptop and
Yep.
came in to do this and appreciate you guys get this taken care of. That's right. The day is never finished.
Yeah.
So going back to
400 kittens say
yeah,
that.
going back to the reflection, from there we had the benefits, and then we had our temp stuff when we first started in 2022. We were taking a new look at temp work on how to approach that, and we started. I believe it was just before 2022. Might have been
The
just after
what? The temp?
the temp
Yeah,
being its own
I
entity.
can remember
I think
back.
it was just after.
I can remember back when I was in the field every day, and this is back when you were the scheduling manager previously. And temp was just like it was such a headache, but
I
it's
remember I remember getting calling you guys and going, guys, I've done everything I can to say that we can't do this because we're
your back's against the
and
wall, and you know,
we have to take this
yeah,
because it is what it
temp's a
is.
good moneymaker, you know, and so it's anything that there's the little in business class in college, I had this little diagram, and it really stuck with me. And I used to have a little picture of it, but I got rid of it when I was doing sales and stuff. And there's three elements:
Mhm.
time, money, and quality.
Yeah,
And you pick two. That's the only.
you can have two of
Yeah,
them.
you
You
can't
can
have
have
all three
three.
at once. And so when you circle time and quality, which is us, speed and quality is is basically our mantra, or what we really live by. It's coming from the real captain of the ship
Yep,
that
yep.
says, "Hey, if we're gonna be good at two things, or if we're gonna be good at anything, it's gonna be speed and quality of what we do." Whether that's with monitoring, getting a virtual officer, or getting an actual officer. And so the PRNs and Rose is our RAM, the regional account
Account
manager.
manager.
He's championed that, and really, I mean that guy is a humble person, but he doesn't. I mean, he gets a lot of credit because he's a good dude, and we all love him. But that guy is day in and day out. He's got like one about to have another kid,
Yeah.
and probably will have another one before the end of 2023. He's just a family man, and he's a friend of mine, a friend of yours.
Hmm.
I was a partner with him, and seeing him really take the temp services and absolutely blast off into the
Outer
yeah.
atmosphere with that one.
And I mean, just
I remember when they started that, they were like, "Hey, we're interviewing all the lieutenants and a couple of others for a account manager position that is going to be running the temp world." And
we all looked at him and we're
we all
like,
kind of looked at each other and we're
"That's
like,
the
"No,
guy."
we don't want
Yeah,
anything to do with that." And
yeah.
then we looked at him and we were like, "That sounds like a you thing." And he took that, and when he signed up for it, he did his interview and everything, and they interviewed a few people, and they offered it to him, and he took it. And I mean, I remember him sitting down upstairs the very first time when he was doing it, and he was just like, "Okay, I have no idea what I'm walking into, but we're gonna figure this
Yeah.
out."
Well, and
And
he kind of already was organically doing that. Oh, yeah. And the four of us were downstairs. You know, he was kind of Kyle's go-to guy because he was good at it. You know, and it's we always talk about it, and it's just I'm probably a broken record, but we all have kind of things that our niches that what we're good at, and we naturally just kind of fall into place because our management doesn't really constrict that. They're not micromanagers, and so you're naturally going to go and do what you're good at. You know, whether that's
you're
instructing
gonna
or
be drawn to
scheduling.
it.
Well, it's just the it's you know water always finds a level place, and that's just kind of how it works here, and why it's so cool to work for a company like this because they're not like, hey, you didn't do your 15 TPS reports, and it's like I'm not good at those, so I'm not going to do them.
I got 9 managers. I'm sorry,
But
you have how many managers?
right. Yeah, it's guys managing guys, and it's like, no, we focus on that speed and quality thing instead of kind of circle back to what I was saying. Having Roses, I mean, he quadruples his goals each month, if not more, and we love it because we're able to take on that additional work that turns into full-time work. And so with
What
him
it
really focusing
and
on
it's more
that,
than that too. I mean, the camaraderie that he and his team have manufactured in
yeah,
this short time.
everybody loves working for that
I
guy.
mean, it's
He's a great
crazy.
guy to work for. He takes care of you.
We try to steal periodically, we try to steal some of his temp officers, and I just stole 2 of them, and they were both hesitant.
Yeah.
And this was a temp client that turned into a long running client with us, and, you
Start
know,
tomorrow.
the yep, the wages were good, and the client was like, "Hey, I really like these officers, I really want them."
Yep.
And one of them was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I can move." And then the second one was just super hesitant, and, working with Roses for as long as I have, I understand why he's so hesitant to give up on and to move over to our side, not give
Yeah.
up, but to move over on our side because there's that level of camaraderie with that he's been able to instill and bring to
Yeah.
that it's just I don't
Yep.
think anybody else could.
Those are his go-to guys.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got relationships with the full-time guys, of course, but being as busy as he is, I mean, that phone never stops ringing. We're pretty fortunate. We don't have to do a lot of cold calling to get
No,
business. We have people beating down our door for it, and so his ability to address and manage expectations of a client and get boots on the ground, the time factor, which is such a huge thing because I don't know if anybody's ever had their house broken into, their car stolen. There is a very luckily I'm fortunate I've never had it personally, but just from what I've talked to a lot of people and being in this industry, excuse me, there is a very I don't even know what the word is. It's almost it's just a very
personal.
yeah, to where like it's I'm sure someone might be able to think of a better word that's in the audience, but or watching, but it's a very there's a very like sense of security that is violated. You feel
Okay,
violated,
violated.
almost like if someone just were
I
to
can see that.
attack
They're
you.
in
There's
your home.
yeah, there's
They're
a
taking your stuff.
invasion of privacy, a
Yeah.
violation of your privacy that is very raw, and
Excuse me.
it's like Tabasco on a wound. It just and so in order to get in and correct it as soon as possible, really puts our customers, our clients at ease. Saying, "Hey, we just got our construction trailer broken into and $50,000 worth of tools. I got a guy coming tonight.
Yeah.
He'll be there 5 p.m." And it's like that ability
Wait, and he's
to put our clients at ease is why we do this.
and see, well, he's not even he's taking it a little bit step further than that too, because he works with the monitoring
Yeah,
staff.
so or
And
to
so
get a VO
he can
out
either
there,
say he's either had the
virtual officer.
option of saying, "Hey, I can either get an officer out to you, or I can get a VO," which is a virtual officer in
Yeah,
our language,
yeah,
which is a camera system that we can put up, and to have that up within 24 hours.
yep,
I mean, it's just
or less,
or
dude.
less, yeah.
Yeah,
He's had
I've
times where he's had it up in 6.
we had and we work in conjunction with him too. So
Mhm.
if he's got him and his sergeant Kavist, who you should get some credit here too, has really allowed him to then kind of focus on, okay, this is the good new business that we want. And Sergeant Kavist is helping manage the book of business that we already have, along with, our corporal downstairs and me or you,
Mhm.
whoever. You know, we're just a very let's attack this problem and fix it
Let's get the
kind of
solution.
mentality. Sure.
Yeah.
And that comes from our boss, like we talked about with the beverages with bosses, is you've got one that's out pursuing good business and good growth, and then you got guys back here making, the
Making sure the gr
sausage.
yep, making sure
Yeah,
that growth
so
stays
we're
healthy,
here. Yeah,
stays and
if you've
stays
never seen how hot dogs and sausages are made,
don't look it up.
don't look it up. But it's a dirty job and it needs to be done, and it's a selfless job, and we're all happy to do it here because of the team we have. So we look forward to 2023. Lots of improvements. We can sit here and talk about all that. You got moved to scheduling
You
manager.
say other things we've got is I've moved back to being scheduling manager, you moved up to being captain. We've got
It's a
2
good
new
year.
lieutenants right now.
Yep. Another one on
We've
the
got
way.
another one on the way.
I'm about to be giving birth to a lieutenant here soon.
We've got,
So
another client who's opted to have more supervisors come up and assist
yeah,
as necessary,
that's one of the heavy hitter clients too.
and just this be able to show this type of growth and be able to pass that down to you guys out there is just it's something that it's hard to come by, and in a time where when it's something I take as a massive win. When the pandemic hit, I remember, getting kinda worried about what was gonna happen, what are we gonna do, what is the short term versus the long term sustainability of this.
Yeah,
What's going to happen to our crew out there? And I was sitting there thinking, well, with that going to happen, they're going to close down stores, they're going to close this down and
yeah,
that down, and we're going to have to, flush people.
yep,
And here we go, pandemic hits, hospitals reach out, the clients reach out, and they're like, hey, we need security. And I've never seen team like ours reach out so fast and be like, "We've got you covered,"
yep.
and then be able to move pieces around
Yeah,
and
that's
make
3 years
sure.
ago.
Mhm.
4 really.
And so
It's
not only
crazy
did
to
we
think of
able to
that.
maintain where we were, we grew,
Yeah.
and we were able to show, say, and say, "Hey, in this time of need, we can help."
Yep.
And just
Well,
the
and
ability of that is just
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, we had the PPE and all that stuff because we're
Mhm.
classified as first responders, so we got a bunch of
I remember getting a note
equipment. Yeah,
a note printed out that said that if I because I remember when it was first going in, they were all concerned with the lockdown and you're not gonna be able to drive or go out anywhere, and if you did, you'd get pulled over. I remember
We
getting a note.
we're essential.
Yeah, that said, "Just in case I get pulled, my name is Josh, I work for Second Protection. If I get pulled over, I'm allowed to go to work."
Yeah.
And I was like, "This is crazy." And it was
Yeah.
just this whole
There was a
thing
cool and not cool because I'm like, man, I'm seeing all my buddies chugging beers on a Monday morning at 2, or at 7
at
a.m.
7:30 in the morning chugging a beer.
There's a quarantine beer chug group on Facebook.
No,
There
there's
was
not.
yeah, it
No.
still exists. A lot of people that connect and meet up and stuff. I don't like people. I'm antisocial, so
That's
uh,
yeah, that's true.
I hang out at my house. But it was cool to see it was more of a Midwest community come together. That Musa guy that drinks the red wine,
Yeah,
wears Pat Mahomes' jersey, they
yeah.
flew him out, and it's just really cool. It's heartwarming to see people come together and support each other. And it was, there was some camaraderie there because, like you said, the biggest part was the fear of what's this going to
What's
do
gonna
to
happen?
people? Am I going to die? Am I gonna get sick? Change everybody's lives forever in one way or another. And I think I said it before. The one silver lining was that there was just a human aspect that everybody got reminded of. That hey, we're all humans here together,
Yeah.
no matter your color, skin, creed, whatever, where you're from. At the end of the day, we all share the destiny of this blue and green
Yep.
ball floating around in space. So people, I feel like at least I see, and I hope it still rings true that people start to be more decent to each other.
Mhm.
It's you show up and there's three people working at a restaurant, you're not going to scream and give me a T-shirt, gift card, keychain.
I remember
Waited 45 minutes for a steak and go home and eat then.
and I think something on that too is something that we kinda learned as at least I feel we did as a community was communication, was talking to each other. I've been gone to restaurants and I know Ryan has mentioned this before, is you go to a restaurant and normally they're busting and there's, 10 servers and 2 bartenders and 12 cooks in the back. They've got 4 people working
Yeah.
and one's a cook and one's a bartender and 2
Yeah, the host
servers.
is serving,
Yeah,
and
and
bussing tables, and
you
so
gotta
yeah,
they come up to you and you're like, "Hey, we're trying to get to you taken care of as best we can, but there's 3 of us here. There's
yeah,
4 of us here, and
yep.
only 3 of us know what we're doing."
I
So just to see that level of camaraderie and communication to where everybody was okay. We sat down, we're like, "You know what? That's fine.
yeah,
I got time. Take your
yeah.
time."
Well, it's because it's hey, when danger is involved, it's crazy how friendly people become.
Mhm.
It's just we're all in this together, dude. No one's getting off this planet alive. I'll tell you that right now. At least not to the foreseeable future. If we populate Mars or some nearby Goldilocks planet, I'm kind of a space nerd, which you
I
know.
know that very well.
So, be good to each other, and if that's something we can teach each other moving into 2023, please do. There was a quote I saw where there was this Buddhist that came up to this class and was going to teach him about kindness, and he goes, "It's rare that you're ever going to, you know, bust into an orphanage that's on fire and save a child." He goes, "But the way you hold the door for somebody, or the way you treat
The
somebody,
way you talk to
or
them.
compliment someone and say you look really good today," or a good one I've heard a few times, like, have you lost some weight? And I was like, I got sick, so I stopped eating for a couple days, but
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't proactively. I'm not, in the caloric deficit like I should be, but just a little comment like that that's appropriate to someone could really make or change, make or break somebody's day. And nobody knows what people have going on. Everybody has stuff going on outside of their work life and in their personal life, and so little things like that just really go a long way. And I'm a huge, huge supporter of just
Little wi
random acts of
yes.
kindness. Just buy the coffee for the guy behind you, do something nice. At Aldi, they have the quarters for the
Yep.
carts.
I leave one in.
I leave it in, or I just hand it to him, like, oh, keep the quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, big
I
balling
usually
like that. You
u
keep the
I
quarter.
usually leave it in or I do the same. Like, if there's nobody around me, I leave it in. If I see someone walking up, I'll grab it
Do
and hand it
something
to 'em.
nice for somebody each day, and I don't know. Maybe I don't know why I would. May have a guilty conscience. I don't know. Just do something nice for somebody
Were
each
you a
day.
monster in college?
Well, yeah, kind of. I've had my moments in the past, and I've learned to control my anger a little bit better. But just be an asshole.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the biggest thing.
it's not hard. It's really not hard.
I think it was a big lesson that I think everybody kinda learned through the pandemic when everything was going on was be kind to each other,
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
saying. That
yeah,
human element. That hey, we're all. You could be a billionaire or a guy living under a bridge. the
We're the
pandemic,
same.
yeah, it's gonna. I mean, it affects people different, but you're still on the same planet that's having a
You're still on the same.
worldwide pandemic.
You're still on the same team.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
human team, you're
yeah.
still there.
I mean, it's a pandemic. Like, there's no way around it, And so people came together, which was cool, and obviously, we got some business out of it, which you never want business off of bad stuff, but just try and take everything take everything and see a little bit of good in it and do little acts, just random acts. It just makes you feel good. It
Yeah.
really does. That's
Evan, thanks for
knowing
joining
you've
us.
done something for somebody that isn't going to repay you. I always remember I was having a horrible day. It was shortly after I moved back here from Indiana. I was working here, but I was just having a really shit day.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, this lady I was getting a coffee and she's at the gas station, and I walk up and the guy goes, "Hey, that lady just walked out," said, because I was in uniform, and she said, "Whatever you got was on me, on her, and to pay it forward." And it stuck with me. I was having a bad day, and I just completely turned it around, and I was like, "That was really freaking nice. Like, thanks."
I had
It
a,
just kinda picked you up a little bit, and that person had
we
already left. I couldn't even say thank you. Never saw that person again, at least I have, and don't, I don't
didn't
remember what they
recognize you.
look like,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just cool to have stuff like that happen to you, so do it for somebody else, and it doesn't always have to be money, like I said, whether, hold the door. Sometimes I'm the guy that, like, hold it when you're far away,
Yeah.
and I'm like, do they feel like they need to hurry? And I'm like,
Right.
"Take your time."
Yeah, don't run, it's
Yeah,
cool.
and so I feel bad sometimes doing that, but,
I always feel bad at that point. I hold it open. I see him back there, and I'll stand there, and they take off, and it's like, no, 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 don't run, don't.
and have some manners, say thank you.
Yeah.
I was out of town this weekend, and my cousin's dating this new guy, and he's really nice. And one of the first things that stuck out to me, I'm a little old school. I was raised, you go over to somebody's house, take your shoes off. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. You don't take anything, and you always deny everything that they try to give you until they force you and stuff. But uh, he was there. We were kind of unpacking and stuff. And the first thing he did, he popped up off the couch, shook my hand, introduced himself. He goes, "What can I help bring in? What can I help carry in?" And I was like, "Oh shit! Like,
Wow.
there is chivalry in this world. Like, they're still decent." And knowing my cousin's a great kid, and so I knew she wouldn't, date some idiot or some rude guy. But at the same, it's just those little reminders are really nice to get that there's good people out there. So not to dwell on that
Yeah.
stuff, but moving forward, do something good for somebody. I know everybody that works for us, in some form or capacity. I know you guys are good at heart, so I know you guys try to do the right
I think that's
thing.
why a majority of the people that do this type of work for a living, and not just security, but I mean like law enforcement, first responders, EMS, EMT,
We're
doctors.
all kind of wired similar,
Yeah,
you know.
there's you get that nitty-gritty part of us, and they all have that dark sense of humor where they can come off a little jaded sometimes, but when you look at them as a whole, and you look at what they've decided to do and what they're currently doing, they're there to help, and they do it in a way that most can't take effect on. They just they can't do it because it's uh too affecting. There's some of these things that we do in some of the things that guys who've been doing this for 20 years have seen, that a regular person who is wired to be, and it's from, I don't know a better way of saying it, but
9 to
normal.
5, yeah,
Yeah,
normal.
normal would see it,
Normal people out there.
it would hurt, it would tear you down, and some of these guys that see that stuff, doctors are a huge one, see some of the stuff that comes that walks through the EMT,
Yeah,
that walks through the emergency room door, and they're able just to continue on, get this person back up on their feet and get them healthy, and
I've got a crazy story about that.
it's just
My best friend growing up, he's still a good friend. We just moved on different parts of the country now, but his dad was like a dad to me, and he was a doctor, and
mm,
he was an ER doctor on the weekends. I think I've told you about him. And he was pretty good at keeping that stuff away. And we were younger, this is like I started driving, and anyway, middle school, elementary school, and high school, I hung out with this kid probably 4 or 5 times a week, like almost every
yeah.
day. And we were at a dinner once, and his dad just started breaking down, and we're like, "What the hell?" Like, this a big, powerful, strong man's crying in the middle of nowhere, or in public in front of people, and he got up and went to the restroom, and me and my buddy Max, hopefully he doesn't mind if I use his name, we looked at each other, and his mom goes, "He lost a patient today that he's known for a long time," and it was a kid.
It tears you
It was
down.
a kid, and
Yeah.
normally he was good, but he lost a patient, and one of the guys that was there looked like him, and so it was just piercing right through the heart, and so I've always been around people like that, you know, my wife's profession, mine and stuff, and there's a reason why cops and nurses always end up getting married
Always.
and, you know, military, stuff like that, so it's a thankless, selfless job, we all love doing it, otherwise we wouldn't, so, again, thank you guys, and, you know, try and carry some good positivity to
I think the
2023.
big thing to remember going into 2023 with all of this reflecting and looking back at everything is some of the lessons that we learned of being positive and doing good to others, bringing that into 2023. I know that there's been a ton of jokes about 2022 being the bad year and 2021 being the worst year, but I think if we maintain that positivity when we bring that in, and I think we can make 2023 the best year we as individuals and we as a collective group
Yeah, you always
can
wanna get
have.
better. You
Yeah,
always wanna get you I mean, some people are happy with just the whatever, you know, "Hey, I'll do the bare minimum." I don't think very many people that work for us are that way, if any, really, because we're constantly trying to think outside the box and do more, and, "Hey, can you hang over 15 minutes because the guy relieving you is running behind?" And rarely, rarely, rarely do we get, "No, not happening." It's, of course. Thanks for the heads up." That
yeah.
communication's key, and so that's why we do this podcast is to communicate to our officers and people that are interested in security and stuff. So here's the 2022 and here's the 2023. And you know, we're gonna really strive to get better each year. Hopefully a year from now we're still having this conversation and the room's upgraded with newer, nicer stuff. Not that we don't have nice stuff,
Hey,
but
no,
we're
this is
always
great
wanting
stuff.
we're always wanting to just to get better. And you know, that's if you're somebody that's like that and isn't part of the team, you know, we're always
It's a
hiring.
it's a big thing too, is if you're watching this podcast and you're not a current employee, and this is something you've decided that you're interested in, apply. We're happy to help you get your foot in the door, get you some training, get you some informational knowledge to understand what it is, what this job is, what it entails, and who you get to work
Yeah,
around and the type of people and
if you're
everything.
interested in
So
law enforcement like that,
yeah,
I got a call
absolutely.
from a detective from KCPD on Friday asking about one of my employees who I'm gonna hate losing, but of course I gave a great recommendation because
Of course you
the
did.
guy's a great officer.
Of course you
So,
did.
yeah, I know. I hate it. I hate it, but I love it at the sa it's
It's
bittersweet.
funny.
I hate that word too, but it's bittersweet because I'm like, "Damn it, we're gonna lose a good guy," but at the same time, I will never, ever, ever try to stall or prolong someone's career here just because for my personal gains on it. And I would hate a supervisor to do that to me. It's happened in the past. That person's no longer a supervisor here. And I think that's something that kind of championed it for me was the dishonesty there. And so you guys, everybody that knows me knows I shoot you straight. Sometimes it's not what you want to hear, but it's going to be what you need to hear or what the truth is. And so everybody out there that's former employees that have gotten positions, not just because of me, but because of a
Mhm.
recommendation, because of the hard work that they do, I don't take any credit for that, but uh, they they know because I have, you know, and I've never unless somebody's been a bad employee, I've never really had a reason to say, hey, this person's dishonest.
Yeah,
Or what I say is, you would be an idiot not to hire this person. So
absolutely.
you would
And
be dumb to pass this person up
we
because
have,
I hate the fact that I'm getting
there
gonna
was
lose them.
we've had a couple of guys that have passed through more than a couple, that have been, they could have been lifelong tight employees like me, and, they went to law enforcement, and it was probably the hardest decision they've ever had to make, but it was the best thing that they could have ever
Yeah.
done.
Yep.
I mean, one of the guys that, he used to be, a sergeant with us, and he was one of the coolest guys I'd ever met. He was always willing to help you train and
The
help
one that
you
just
learn
graduated.
more, although he's him too.
Yeah.
This was, another one who works locally, closer to us than he does. Not by far though,
Okay.
actually.
Gotcha.
Um, but he's the one who taught me how helped me learn how to be an instructor and how to be better at that type of thing.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
And,
Yeah.
he's just this
Sergeant?
grade A guy, and he just, when he went to PD, it was the biggest loss, but it was the best thing on the world. I mean, he is doing so much better for him right now that I can't
Of
believe
course,
that
and
it
yeah,
was the best thing.
that's why
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, they're like, "Well, I don't know if this is for me," and I said, "If it is, it is. If it is,
Mhm.
if it isn't, it isn't." If you have to have that dialogue, excuse me, that dialogue internally, then it might not be, you know, and so and that's okay, you know.
There's
It's
nothing wrong
I'm
with that.
never
That's
gonna force, yeah,
self-reflection.
I'm never gonna force a square peg in a round hole or vice versa or whatever, just because it's not helping anybody.
Yeah.
All it's doing is creating friction, and so it's like if somebody would ask for money, I'm just gonna get if I can afford it, I'm just gonna give it to them
Yeah.
because I don't want there to be
That weird
buffer,
energy.
that weird energy
Yeah.
of, "Hey, you're gonna pay me back that 20 bucks." No, dude, just take it,
Just take it.
and next time I need a favor, or pay it forward,
Yeah.
and so it's just I think the Titan family has taken on that lifestyle or that theme, throughout the years I've been here, and that's why we're able to keep the people we keep, and that's
Mhm.
why this group works the way we do, and that's why I drive here on my day off. I enjoy being here.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I don't wake up and go,
I go to work.
"Here's another one." I mean, there are I have my days where I'm like, I gotta have a lot
But
of
that's the thing,
not
though.
fun
When
meetings today, and I gotta discipline people that
That's the thing, though, when you look at something like that is when you look at a job, when you look at it, I break it down as there's careers and then there's jobs.
yeah, that's a good way to look
A
at it.
job is something you will take to pay the bills, make sure you're taken care of, kind of just get yourself to where you're going. A career is something that you will look at long term and you will do everything and anything you can to make that place a better place. I started Titan just under a decade ago.
1985.
Just under a decade ago. And when I joined the 4 people I met, I was walked into Ryan Smith's office on my interview.
Mhm.
And that made such an impression on me and such a I looked at myself and I was like,
Yeah, 'cause there was only
they were
3 employees here,
no, shut
and
up.
he was one of them.
There was 45 there was
That actually was
80
gonna be my question. I was gonna say, how many people did we have when you
when I started, I think there was 80 of us total.
I think we go through more than that in a month in new hires.
No, no, no.
That's
We're
2
not that.
months.
That's 3 months.
10 a week, so was that 40? Yeah, it's 2 months.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
'Cause we'll have some weeks we got, like, 18.
Yeah, that's true. I'd say 2 months worth of employees. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You're getting old.
But I mean, it was such so different back then when I first started that the mentality was it was when your relief didn't show up, there was a it wasn't you had to stay, it was a you wanted to.
Yeah.
I worked out in Lawrence, Kansas, and there was 2 of us, right? That was it. And the only time I only ever saw a supervisor out there twice. One, when we started the contract, when I got hired after orientation,
Right.
and 2, when somebody was injured and we had to have somebody come out for a work
To
packet.
injury packet,
Mhm.
yeah.
That was it. Those were the only 2 times I saw a supervisor. And the first time a supervisor showed up, he spent an hour and 45 minutes with me. He had no idea what the property looked like. He had a book in his hand and he said, "We're gonna walk the property."
Yep.
And he walked me through the entirety of the property,
Yep.
walked me through the book, the whole 9 yards, and was just like, "This is where you are." And
Yeah,
I
this
was
is
like,
your baby. Take care of
"Yeah."
it, yeah.
And I was like, "Cool." I was like, "Well, if I need help, how far are you?" And he goes, "No, no, you're gonna have to call the cops." He goes, "I'm an hour out at least."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting."
Oh, Lawrence PD.
And I think it was like, I don't know, a month in, and the other officer who was hired out in Lawrence with me had some family stuff pop up. Just he couldn't make it to work, and I
Yeah.
and I knew what was going on because I talked to him. Me and him we were friends, for lack of a better
Right.
way of saying it, because we were the only 2 officers out there.
Right.
And supervisors call me. They go, "Hey, so he's not going to be able to make it for the next couple of weeks. We really need something." I said, "Come up with a modified schedule, and I'll do whatever I got to do
Right.
because I want to help him. And if this is the best way for me to help him was for me to
Yep.
cover down the site so he can take care of his family stuff. Let's do it." And about 6 days went by, and he called me back, and he was like, "Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate you helping me out, giving me the ability to take care of that."
Yeah.
He goes, "Whenever you need time off, you just call."
Yep.
And it was probably it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same kind of relationship we build with these guys, and there's our cult following few of people that are on every podcast, and that's awesome, and we appreciate the support. And then there's guys that don't even watch this show, that I know would do anything that I
Mhm.
asked, and so that's just it. That's all that's a seed that was planted years and years and years ago, and starting to grow. And we just want to continue to grow like a muscle and not like a weed. And that's something Ryan I
I
think
love
talked
that.
about.
I love that iteration.
Yeah. The
Grow like a muscle,
the
not a weed.
yeah, and Ryan talked about it in our little
Mhm.
beverage meeting where when they first started, they were just saying yes to everything and figure it out later. It was a good mentality to have, but then there's also let's grow appropriately,
Yeah.
and let's not hemorrhage on something
But
that's
and
going to be bad business. We went and looked at a client the other day, and I won't say any names or anything, but me and my boss did, and at the end of it, we go, I don't know if this is safe, for what they're wanting us to do, and so it's that those are conversations I think are being had these days that probably weren't.
Well,
10,
see, and that's
10
the
years
difference
ago.
though, is 10 years ago, it was more about let's get big.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
grow, let's get our name out there, let's get
Yep.
known. Because when you're a company of 80 employees in the security industry, nobody knows you. You have to
Well,
go out and
even our
crawl and
size,
fight for
we're
everything
still
and
not national level, but
no, but
but
I guarantee you
we're in our own
everywhere
little niche.
as I say, in our own little niche, I guarantee you that people know our
Like
name.
Boss Man said, when they showed up to that property we got about a year ago
Mm,
on that corner,
mhm,
and everybody said, "Oh shit, Titans here,"
yep,
and they started the riffraff started leaving. That's because of our reputation.
yep,
That we're gonna do what we say we're gonna do, and we're gonna do it, and we're not gonna do things that are unethical, immoral, or illegal. And so you'll never beat us in that aspect. Care who you are, we're not gonna do that stuff. So we don't hire people that are willing to do that. It's the first thing that made an impression with me when my boss, who is now chief, was the training. He trained me, and within day one, he goes, "If you're going to do something immoral, unethical, or illegal, you can leave." I said, "Ooh, I like this place."
this is nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've been an idiot in the past, but I've turned my life around. So, well, guys, we appreciate all the support for 2022, whether it be good, bad over the year. We want to move on from that and correct the bad and continue to do the good. And like I said, my boss says every year, is just get better. Yeah, let's just get better this
Yep.
year.
Take
Let's
the
get healthier.
take the lessons that you learned in 2022, apply them in 2023, and help somebody else. Show them the way that you've learned,
Yes.
and give them the same lessons, so that way they have the chance to grow and be better themselves. Don't hold that information in.
Yeah, yeah. Don't let a bad situation stay bad. Take some positive out of it.
Mhm.
I showed up without a jacket, and I get shit from my boss all the time for
Every day,
range. He saw me
every day.
digging through my because I usually have a couple of hoodies or trunk or jackets in my trunk, and I just cleaned them out because whatever. And he goes, "I have an extra one because you're an idiot." I said, "Yeah, well, I am."
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
so yeah, and so I'll never live that down. I haven't forgotten one since.
I say, I'll
So
tell you
take
what
something
though,
like that and learn from
he's never not had his coat since.
it.
He's always had it every day since then.
Yep.
Makes a point of proving it too. He's like, I got my coat. It's
It's
cold.
on. So,
But
yeah, guys, we appreciate you again.
thank you for everything you guys did in 2022. We look forward to working with everybody in 2023. Again, if you're not a current Titan employee and you're watching this and you're interested in joining, come on down, sign up. Let us know that you're interested, and we'd be happy to get you guys get some started, get you trained, get you information on it, and happy to try the new year with you guys as well. So we appreciate everything you guys do. Everything you guys do allows us, and I'm going to say this. I'm probably going to say this every podcast because it's so monumental. Without you guys doing that stuff, we wouldn't
Yep,
be able to do stuff like this.
of course.
We wouldn't, and that to me is the best thing that we could be able to. So thank you guys so much for 2022, the fantastic year that we had, and we look forward to working well together again in 2023. Diego, thanks for joining us. Although I think you're coming in right as we're about to leave.
I saw some comments roll across. We need to go back to the tablet and see if I can get on these. So
And let's see,
it's
most
just
of them
hard to do.
are Devin saying that. Let's see, Devin's got some on here. It says sometimes when this was talking back when you were talking about your friend Max.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you think of all the something or dwell on something, and remember sadly, it'll kind of catch up to you,
Yep.
which is true.
Oh yeah, I'm Irish. I bottle stuff up.
Yeah, he does. That's an understatement.
So
He says he used to.
I've gotten better at it, or at least I'm trying to.
Yeah, he says he used to experience it in childhood, and he would go take walks and contemplate and think,
Yeah, that's
and
good.
that's yeah.
Take a time out.
We used to do the same thing around here. We have this nice little lake or pond, whatever you want to call it,
I've had to walk around that
um,
briskly a few
and
times.
there have been times where it's like stuff's going on, you're just getting swamped in. It's like, okay, I got to go take a walk, take a
Yeah.
couple of laps to get my mind straight.
Well, and you guys, those of you that we're close with, you guys are always bailed us out with coverage, last minute and stuff. And
Hmm.
there's people that we've really stuck our necks out for that unfortunately have wrung our necks, for better lack of terms.
Yeah,
That hey, you really go out above and beyond to help somebody, and they end up doing one of those three things I talk about, which is either illegal, unethical, or immoral. Typically, it's lying, and so we get caught in with our hand in the cookie jar. We've had that happen a few times where we go out on a limb and trust somebody and we verify and we find out that person's not trustworthy. And we take it personal, because we put our heart and soul in this place, and we know not everybody's going to do what we do and put in the hours and the work that we do, and some probably work harder than we do.
yeah,
I'm not going to say that's not possible, but it gets personal when you go to help somebody and they really come back to bite you. So pond walk sometimes
It helps.
helps. Because I don't want to take it on to the next guy I talk to because they're like, man, who pissed in that guy's Cheerios? You know, it's like you don't want to know. Well, again, guys, we appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. If you're off, enjoy it. I'm gonna go home and think I'm gonna go to Texas Roadhouse tonight.
Ooh, that sounds
Steak
good.
stuff's really good. I don't want to cook it, which normally
I
I
just don't
like
wanna
to.
pay for that.
That the one by me, that's the best priced steaks you're gonna get.
Really.
That's actually good. Yeah, they don't put a bunch of goofy seasoning on it because I'm salt, pepper,
A
garlic
salt,
kind of
pepper,
guy,
garlic kinda guy. Yeah, that's
some
it.
butter.
Yep.
But I'm just it's kind of poopy out, and I don't want to fire up the grill, and I don't want to
Diego
clean
says,
up.
"Take it easy and bring me some of those rolls."
You
Love those rolls, man. Those rolls are
They black
amazing.
out when I see look down. They're gone. The butter's everywhere.
I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah, shame. That's a shame. Again, guys,
We
we
appreciate
appreciate
it.
you.
Thanks for everything you guys
Here's the
do.
2023.
Here's the 2023. We look forward to it. It's gonna be a rainy half the week, guys, and then the sun's gonna come out, I think, on Wednesday. It's still gonna be cold, but be less rainy,
Yeah,
so
we've got a surplus of jackets again, so you guys please do not hesitate to reach out. And again, if you're nice and I'm feeling nice, I may have some delivered to you, but I think
if we have
everybody
the ability.
but I'm pretty sure everybody that needs them has them. So if you're waiting to still get one, let us know. And we will take care of you. So
So,
again, guys, have a good rest of your day.
appreciate it. Joining us. Thanks for it, and we will see you guys on the next one. Stay safe, stay warm, and thank you guys again for everything. Thanks.